On July 29, 1945, Sharon Creech was born to Arvil and Ann in South Euclid, Ohio, a suburb of Cleveland. Sharon grew up in Ohio with her parents, one sister, Sandy, and three brothers, Dennis, Doug, and Tom. Her house always had frequent visitors, such as grandparents, aunts, uncles, and friends. During her childhood, she often visited her cousins who lived in Quincy, Kentucky, which in many of her books has transformed into Bybanks, Kentucky. As a child, she loved to play in the hills and spend time with her noisy and rowdy family. Her parents wanted them to see life beyond the suburbs, so they took them on many road trips. In the summers while growing up, her family took many trips to Wisconsin, Michigan, Idaho, and even to Scotland. As a child, she wrote stories constantly but had no intentions of becoming a writer. She wanted to be many other things: a painter, an ice skater, a singer, and a teacher. She soon realized she lacked artistic talent, the ability to stay on tune, and tolerance for cold ice. Required to take literature and writing courses while attending Hiram College in Ohio, Sharon became interested in storytelling. Sharon Creech also attended George Mason University of Virginia for her graduate studies. In 1979, she moved to England with her husband Lyle Rigg, where he served as the headmaster of the American school. She taught high school English and writing for 15 years in England and Switzerland. Teaching literature to students helped her learn a lot about writing basics that she would use in her books. While living in England, she wrote and published Recital and Nick O'Malley, which were published in English only and are now out of print. Her next book, Absolutely Normal Chaos, was written in 1990. Creech had been living in England and Switzerland for about 10 years and was missing her family in the United States. She decided to write a story about normal family chaos, so she wrote a book about what it was like growing up in her own family. The characters in Absolutely Normal Chaos have the same names as her actual brothers. This book is about a young girl whose assignment is to keep a journal over the summer. The young girl's cousin stays with her family over the summer, and as the mystery story unfolds, she finds out that there is more to her cousin and to herself than she ever knew. In the book, the main character gives her address as 4059 Buxton Road, and that was Sharon's real address in Ohio. After 18 years in England, Creech and her family moved back to the United States. The childhood trip to Idaho had a powerful effect on then 12-year-old Sharon that she recreated that trip in 1994 in Walk Two Moons. Walk Two Moons was the first book of hers to be published in America. In 1995, it was honored by the American Library Association with the Newbery Medal. This book is about a journey and of Native American heritage and of people not being what they might seem to be. She got the idea for this book from a fortune cookie message: "Don't judge a man until you've walked 2 moons in his moccasins." In Walk Two Moons, the trip that Salamanca takes with Gramps and Gram follows the same route that Creech took with her family as a child. This is the story of 13-year-old Salamanca Tree Hiddle from Bybanks, Kentucky. Salamanca's mother left her father when she was only a few years old. Salamanca recently moves from Kentucky to Ohio with her father to begin a new life. Salamanca's grandparents take her on a road trip from Ohio to Idaho in search of her mother. Upon arriving to Ohio, she learns that her mother had died in an accident many years ago. Salamanca is able to bring closure to the dream of her mother returning. During the road trip, Salamanca tells her grandparents about a friend she met in her new neighborhood named Phoebe Winterbottom. Bloomability was written in 1999. It is about a girl in an international boarding school. The 2 years that Sharon spent in Switzerland with her children and husband sparked some of the ideas in Bloomability. On the front cover is an actual photo of her daughter Karen and her youngest brother Tom. On the right is a view from her house looking up the hill toward Montagnola. The back cover has actual photos of her son Rob and her daughter on the slopes of St. Moritz, and of her husband Lyle. In this book, 13-year-old Denny is taken away from her family by her aunt and uncle to live at a boarding school in Switzerland. Denny eventually comes to like the new place and the people she meets from all over the world. The characters in this book are fictional, but they represent many of the students Sharon met and experiences they encountered while at the boarding school in Switzerland. Ruby Holler, written in 2002. This book is about an orphan brother and sister who are referred to as the Trouble Twins. They are often adopted and then returned to the orphanage because they are too much to handle. An older couple, Tiller and Sari, are looking for new adventures and invite the twins to join them. They live in Ruby Holler, which is a beautiful place in the country. At the end of the story, all their lives take new turns, especially as Dallas and Florida reunite with their father. Sharon Creech's books are not sequels, but many of her books are connected as the same characters and places appear in several books. She writes mainly about young people. The characters and events are sparked by real events and people in her life, but all her books are fictional. Sharon has written a few picture books and several novels. Sharon's favorite authors are Katherine Patterson, Virginia Hamilton, Jerry Spinelli, Christopher Paul Curtis, and Karen Cushman. Creech is a mother to two grown children, Rob and Karen, who both live in the United States. Sharon lives at the Pennington School in New Jersey, where her husband Lyle is the headmaster. Creech has won several awards. In 1995, she won the Newbery Medal, the United Kingdom Reading Association Award, and the United Kingdom's Children's Book Award for Walk Two Moons. Bloomability won the CBC Children's Choices Award in 1999. The Wanderer won the Parents' Choice Award in 2000 and the Newbery Honor Award in 2001. Absolutely Normal Chaos won the YALSA Popular Paperbacks for Young Adults in 2001. Ruby Holler received the 2002 Carnegie Medal. Quotes by Sharon Creech. You can't keep the birds of sadness from flying over your head, but you can keep them from nesting in your hair. Don't judge a man until you've walked 2 moons in his moccasins. I love the way that each book, any book, is its own journey. You open it and off you go. You are changed in some way, large or small, by having traveled with those characters. Sometimes you know in your heart you love someone, but you have to go away before your head can figure it out.